Today on Team E Outdoors. No tobacco, no nicotine. We visit the Bacc Off plant in Alabama. Then raid the woods for turkey and spearfish the deep Gulf. Wayne Prejean is back at it in this week's Zone Wild.
Get a bird.
You're watching Team E Outdoors.
This is Team E Outdoors, presented by Bacc Off.
Welcome to Team E Outdoors, presented by Bacc Off. I'm your host, Nicole Castro. We're glad to have Bacc Off, non-tobacco snuff, aboard as our title sponsor this year. It's a great healthy alternative for those who dip. Plus, they love to hunt.
Come on in.
You know, I've never had a chance to hunt the South for turkeys, so this spring we all saddled up and headed down to Alabama to hunt with some good friends.
Welcome, guys.
Russell?
So we met up with Russell. He's the owner of the Bacc Off company, and he was nice enough to invite us all down, check out his business, and see if there's any turkeys in this state.
Guys, I'm going to take you into the Bacc Off plant. That's a rare privilege that almost nobody gets, okay? If you talk about it, I'm going to have to kill you. You know how it is with your friends. Everybody's dipping, and when you're a teenager, it's all cool. And then you get a little bit older, and you realize, you know, that I need to quit this. Over the years, and I'm real proud of this, over the years we've been tested by different organizations. Bacc Off has been clinically tested by a university and has been found to reduce the stress of nicotine withdrawal more than tobacco itself. It's a difficult habit to change. We can help with that. Mark, before you guys go, I want to get you some samples. Now, the extra wintergreen is one of our best sellers, and the straight flavor is our best seller. So why don't you take those and give that a try?
Oh, the boys will really appreciate this. Thank you, Russell.
Good deal.
Russell, I understand Charlie and Gabe are on a bird out there. Tell me a little about Charlie.
Charlie is on the Bacc Off pro staff. In other words, he gets to hunt free over here. That's really what that means. And so he's over in the next county. He's been lining up some birds for Gabe. And so let's go get them on these birds and see if we can get a show.
My name's Charlie Miling,
And I'm Anissa Kelly.
and we are here in Otagoville, Alabama.
Well, Russell's paired me up with his right-hand man, Charlie, who also brought along his girlfriend, Anissa. And Anissa's killed several nice bucks, but she's never killed a wild turkey. So I'm going to try to film her first ever spring turkey hunt. So here we go. We're off into the woods. We only have a couple days to get it done, but down here in the South, we get to hunt all day. We were set up overlooking a beautiful green field. We had our decoys out on the Sidewinder motion stake. We had gobblers gobbling in the distance, and we knew it was just a matter of time before one of them came to the field.
Come on, big boys. Two longbeards. Go.
Well, it didn't take long. We had two nice gobblers show up in the field. But these two stubborn birds just would not come to the decoy. And I knew right then that these southern easterns were going to be tricky. Well, it was about halfway through the Alabama season, and I could tell that these birds had had some hunting pressure. So we decided to change up our plan and try something new for the afternoon. We decided to move to the end of the field where we saw the two big gobblers that morning. We decided we weren't going to put out any decoys and just sit and be patient and do a little soft calling. We were set up for about an hour, and we looked down the center of the field, and here they came. They slowly work their way into gun range.
Push the safety off and shoot that turkey, Nisa. Shoot him.
Well, these birds worked their way around an easy gun range, but you know, she just didn't feel comfortable with taking the shot, and sometimes it's better, especially for a new hunter, to let a bird walk than swing and a miss.
It's turkeys to Anissa and Charlie, nothing. But we had a good time, as always, being outside. It's, like I say, the thrill's always in the hunt. It's not so much in the kill.
Great hunt and great product. Make sure you visit baccoff.com to check out the several Bacc Off flavors and order some today.
Up next, Charlie's persistence pays off. Spearfishing in the Gulf of Mexico. Team E Outdoors is brought to you by Bacc Off, a healthy alternative with no regrets. NASCAR Racing Experience, the authentic racing experience. Happy Jack. Ask for Happy Jack. Your dog would. Sidewinder Motion Stakes. You want to start a commotion? Get the Sidewinder Motion. And by All Season Sports, your single equipment source for New York Salmon River. You're watching Team E Outdoors, presented by Bacc Off.
Charlie and Anissa gave it their best, but they didn't have the success that they wanted. So now Charlie is going to load up and go to the Gulf of Mexico, which is about 3 hours south of the Bacc Off plant, and see if he can come up with some big fish to put on film.
We're spearfishing today with Rich Adams, Sean McLemore, Norbert Turner, and Charlie Miley.
Charlie Mylan has been fishing for, I don't know, 20 years. Norbert Turner is one of the best spearfishermen in the country, or maybe in the world. Both of those guys have won the Alabama Open King Spearfishing Tournament, which means that they were the best of the best.
Hang on! Hang on!
There's a lot of types of diving. Most people are familiar with recreational diving, where you just go down and you're looking and watching the fish and taking pictures and that kind of stuff. And that would be, say, the least most dangerous diving. Spearfishing would be the second most dangerous diving that there is. The first would be cave diving, you know, where you're actually going down into caves and you've got an overhead environment and there's a lot of people get hurt. The reason spearfishing is so difficult, especially in the Gulf, is because you're going deep, number one. Number two, you're dealing with really big fish most of the time, and potentially sharks, you know, that are causing stress, and you're having to manage equipment. So you're managing a spear gun, you're managing a pole spear, you're managing your air, your oxygen, your decompression, very deep depths, possibly dragging a really big fish or him dragging you. A person that's new at this would not want to do, should not, better not do what they're going to try to attempt today. One of the challenges to a spearfisherman is to be able to recognize the species so that he takes one that's in season, but then to sort through maybe 100 fish to get the largest one. He's going after that grouper. Oh, he nailed it. Let's see if he stole it. It looks like he stole it, which means he's not going to have to fight that fish. But that is an outstanding fish. Oh, Charlie's going to be excited about that, which he should be. That's an enormous grouper, which is going to be some good eating, but also some bragging rights too. That is amazingly clear for the Gulf. You know, one thing people don't realize is that when you get down deep in the Gulf, that it's not black, dark. Most people think you go down and get to the bottom, say in 100, 200 foot of water, it's going to be black. And that's just not the case. There's a lot more light down there than you would expect. The color of the light looks different, but you can still see well. Of course, at this point, Charlie is having to manage his ascent, and so it's very important that he doesn't go back up too quickly, because the entire time he's going back up, once he gets past a certain depth, he's off-gassing or getting rid of the nitrogen bubbles, and there's going to come a point where he's going to need to stop. And so he's watching his pressure in his tank. There he is watching it, and he's also looking at that computer that's telling him what depth to ascend to and then to stop for however many minutes he needs to. Of course, you can see the surface, and there's the boat right there, so it's just unbelievably clear. Today is like diving in the Caribbean. Okay, you don't get that much, but this is as good as it gets in the Gulf. You've got smooth water, you've got beautiful viz, you've got a lot of big fish. It doesn't get any better than this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They're always biting on a 9/16 spring steel shaft.
Woo! Son, best grouper of my life. Thanks,
Give it up.
Thanks to
Yes,
Captain
sir.
Paul Redmond on the Snapper Trapper out of Pensacola, Florida.
Dive number 1.
Man, I was whacking the triggerfish and just having to look back. And here he comes. I don't know if he was under there or if he was out in the sand. But when I saw him, he was out and coming back, and he hesitated right before he went back underneath there long enough for me to drive it down, and he didn't even flinch, man. He just said,
Night, night.
yep.
And that's the beauty of spearfishing, as opposed to just fishing with a line, is you can select the fish that you want to take.
Up next, a dangerous situation, a life or death battle with a monster jack. The official archery dealer of Teamy Outdoors is Wildy Hill Archery, home of all your hunting products.
What makes the Gulf very unique to spearfishing, probably more unique than anywhere in the world, is you've got the combination of factors that fish need to grow healthy, grow big, and be an awful lot of them. Number one, you've got the Mississippi River that's dumping into the Gulf, coming out of New Orleans. It's got the nutrients of the nation that are coming down through the Mississippi, going straight into the Gulf. And then you've got the Alabama, which brings water in from the southeast, and it dumps in at Mobile. Number two, you've got the oil industry, which is natural gas rigs and oil rigs. So you've got the nutrients, you've got the rigs, which is structure, gives them a lot of places to stay. And then you've got the continental shelf, which comes in as close to the land as anywhere in the nation. That gets your deep blue water fish in close to land where they've got structure, they've got nutrients, and the combination of all these things makes for many, many times more fish, number one, and the size is generally bigger than anywhere else.
There's a red grouper down there missing about half his face. But I saw a sunfish down there, which is the size, it's a mola mola. It's the size of a sheet of plywood. It was amazing. It was so freaking awesome.
Most people don't realize it, but there's not a lot of reef or natural structure in the Gulf. And so, for the most part, they're going to be diving on some type of man-made structure that has been put there, which might be a pyramid or might be an old school bus or a chicken coop or an old car that's been dropped down. Wherever you have structure in the Gulf, you're going to have a lot of fish. What guys will do is they'll put their own spots down out there. Paul with Snapper Trapper has over 4,000 spots, which is phenomenal. And so 4,000, you can only fish maybe 4 or 5 spots in a day. The combination of the visibility of the big fish, the depths, means that not just anyone can go out and do what we're going to do today. It's possible that these guys are going to be going 7 atmospheres deep, which means that the pressure on their bodies is going to be 7 times greater than at sea level. They're going to be deep enough to where they're going to need to come back up and do a decompression stop, which most recreational divers don't do. For these guys, it's going to be imperative that they do that. They've got to come up and allow the nitrogen to get out of their system, or they could get hurt or even killed. Spearfishing is hunting. You're not just going down there looking around without technique, and so just like stalking a deer through the woods, you're going to stalk a fish. If you don't stone the fish, which means, just kill them instantly, the tendency is for them to wrap you up. Sean spots this enormous amberjack. Most people have never seen a 90-pound plus amberjack. I mean, their eyes are huge. They're so big. It takes some guts to pull the trigger on a 90-pound amberjack, especially at depth. The amberjack can actually drag you all over the Gulf. He can drag you to the bottom. So the object is to stone that fish to where he is dead instantly. Because if you don't, you've got an enormous fight on your hands at this point. Somewhere along the way, you're going to have to ease your way up to that fish as he gets a little more tired and actually subdue the fish and then kill the fish. You cannot leave the fish alive and bring him back up. Sean has bent a spear. He's messed the knife up. Now the important part is to get on up. He's putting a lot of blood in the water. It's been a lot of fight, which attracts a lot of fish, and it could attract a shark. So he's got to go on and get on up and get back to where he can manage his air. Don't know what Sean's air is at this point, but it's got to be getting low because he's been down at depth for a pretty good while. One mistake that rookie divers make is they'll have a fish that seems like they've killed it, but they haven't, and as they come up, the fish comes alive and then causes them problems. Experience is the key when you're doing deep diving with a big fish, and so Sean does a great job of staying calm and cool and collected, allowing the fish to wear himself out without him getting too excited and using up his air, because the more excited you get, the quicker you use your air. He does a good job to manage all those things and bring a trophy fish up and bring himself back, which is the most important.
Oh. Good grief. Wow.
You see all the X Games out there, and that's dangerous. This is dangerous in a different way because no one really sees the danger, you know, once you go off the boat and go under the water. So it's an extreme sport, no doubt about it.
A day aboard the snapper trapper, fellas.
What are y'all
Captain.
worrying about?
A half a day, 6-hour trip.
Captain Paul Redmond on the snap trap.
We've been getting a ton of response through email about the center pin fishing itself. You know, a couple people live in Alaska or the West Coast, you know, Rick, I can't come out, I can't come to the Sam River and fish with you, we want to learn. So we went ahead and took the liberty of making an in-depth learning video for center pin, and which you can pick up online, which is listed below me here. You know, hopefully you'll get into it too, no matter where you are in the country. This is a great system. Hope to see you soon on the water. Fish on!
Up next, it's never over till it's over in Zone Wild. Team E Outdoors is brought to you by The Great Outdoors, your RV superstore in Fulton, New York. Big John Sports, American made. And by Laser Max, the leading innovator of quality laser sight systems.
Non-typical outdoors brings you into the zone wild, that is.
Zone Wild is sponsored in part by Ameristep.
This week on Zone Wild, we're traveling to Kansas, doing some turkey hunting with my buddy pro staffer Randy Meyer. And we're going to practice the golden rule. It's never over till it's over. Well, it came down to the wire last morning. I've got to catch a plane in Lincoln, Nebraska that afternoon, and we're still in Kansas. 2 unfilled tags. We get up at 3 in the morning. It's nothing but a lightning storm and lots of rain. Things are not looking good.
We're hoping to get cranked up here pretty soon and work this field edge. If they do like they have in the past few days, we're gonna have a really close shot.
First thing you know, we have birds gobbling to the left and right. Looks like they've roosted all the way up and down that creek behind us. So it's just a question of where they're going to hit the ground. It wasn't long after daylight and the weather improved just a little. Had a couple birds pitch off right in front of the blind. and here comes a group of toms. I was the first one up the bat with Randy filming, and the plan was to try to get my tag filled and then grab the camera from Randy.
That's a good bird right there.
We had a couple of toms coming in from the left, and I shot the lead bird. He took off behind the blind. I thought he went down into the creek, hurried up and grabbed the camera. Randy's grabbing his bow, and everything's happening fast.
Did we work?
It's been a tough hunt.
Did we work for this or what?
Go get her bird.
Then we go out to recover Randy's tom and realize mine's not laying there. So the search begins.
Pretty turkey.
Well, it didn't take long. Did a quick search of the area. Turns out the tom that I'd shot just rolled down into the creek. So here we were, an hour after daylight, both our tags filled, and it looks like I might even be able to catch my plane. Well, once again, things can go bad, and it can get ugly, but it's never over till it's over. So just hang in there. For more hunting information, video 24/7, zonewild.com.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you tune in next week for our next adventure. For all of us at Team E Outdoors, I'm Nicole Castro saying, so long.